Hey guys, it's Abe, and it is Friday afternoon, so I'm back with a little bit of lame humor for you. It's good to see people getting out a little bit more now. I myself have been out a little bit. I got in to see my doctor this week, finally. But it was kind of a strange appointment. About halfway through, the nurse practitioner ran in and said, "Doctor, Mr. Jenkins is on the phone. He says it's an emergency, that he needs to come in and see you. Apparently he woke up this morning and he was invisible." And the doctor said, "Well, tell him I can't see him right now." That's what he told her. And I got out a little bit more. I went to the store. This is a category of I should have known. I was looking for a camouflage shirt, and I couldn't find one anywhere. Couldn't find it. I don't know why. And went to the park for a little while as well. Saw a lot of people at the park, staying their social distance 6 feet or more away. It had been so long since I'd been there, though, I forgot how to use my boomerang. But it came back to me. It did, came back, and I figured out how to use that. And this is in the category of sometimes things just don't turn out the way you're expecting them to turn out. I went to the pet store. This beautiful little girl comes in, probably 8 years old, all dressed in pink, and she goes to the manager and says that she has been saving her allowance money and she'd like to buy a little bunny. So the manager takes her back, shows her, explains the different varieties. We've got the native Texas bunny, we've got the snowball bunny, we've got the lop-eared bunny, the long-haired. Shows her all the bunnies, and then basically he asks her, do you know which type that you would want to buy? And so I was listening, and she just very sweetly said, I don't think that my snake really cares. So I wasn't real happy to hear that. I'm not sure how that worked out. Well, a little bit of, I hate to just do lame humor. I do like to do some things that are educational. So there's a few things in the news that you might be interested in. There's a lot of scientific research now that shows that 5 out of every 6 researchers believe that Russian roulette is safe. 5 out of 6. That's not bad. Kellogg's company, you're probably familiar with Kellogg's. They had a big scare this week. They shut down all of their operations. Apparently there was a rumor that there was a serial killer on the loose. Serial killer. And we always have some information and some lame riddles about cows. So what about cows? What do cows like to read? Come on, guys. Catalogs, of course. And how do they do their taxes? They use calculators, of course. And why do cows not have feet? Why do they have hooves instead of feet? Well, that's because they lactose. Lactose. It's true. I read that. I don't write this stuff. I just relay it back to you. And bear with me, it gets worse. Here's an etiquette question. What happens if a cannibal shows up late for dinner? Well, of course, he gets a cold shoulder. People don't like for you to show up late. It's true. And on the international front, just to show you that we're, multicultural here, in Mexico last weekend, there was a famous magician there that did a feat in front of thousands of people in Mexico City. He went to the stage, walked out, and all he said was, uno, dos, and then he totally vanished. It was an amazing feat. Yeah, he disappeared without a trace. Yeah, I read that. And from the world of good news, bad news, couples, here's one thing that you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear your spouse walk in the door and say, honey, I'm home and I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that the 2 airbags work really well. That's something that you probably don't want to hear. Or it could be the flip side with bad news. It's like the defense attorney that was talking to his client. He said, there's bad news I have to convey to you. Apparently they found the murder weapon. Your DNA is all over it. Your blood is on the victim. It's your blood. So there's no way that we're going to be able to prove that you didn't do this. However, the good news is that your cholesterol is 130. So sometimes it's bad news, good news, bad news. People are cooking more at home now. I even have, done a little more cooking. I'm not a very good cook, but I'm not as bad a cook as a girlfriend that I once had. She was such a bad cook that she used the smoke alarm for her timer. Yeah, the smoke alarm. That was not good. And getting into family, I know a lot of you are very kind. You keep asking about my cousin Ernie. Ernie's doing well. He was a little disappointed this week that he didn't get the job for the interview he just did this week. Apparently he did well up till the final interview. He got all the way to the top guy where they have the question and answer period. And they said basically this job, the most important quality is that someone's responsible. Why do you feel like you would be the best applicant? And Ernie, bless his heart, he said, well, I know that I would be the best applicant because in my last job, every time something went wrong, they told me I was responsible. So I'm definitely, but it didn't really work out that way. I'm gonna help him with that. In these times, you just have to be grateful. I'm actually grateful. I'm grateful just to be here. No one really, I haven't told anyone about this, but when I was a young boy, probably 7, I would say, I found out that I had a very rare disease. And I found out that the only treatment for this disease was that I had to eat dirt 3 times a day for about a week. And you know what? After a week, I was cured, and I'm just here today happy that my brother told me about that disease and the cure. So if you've listened to this video this far, then you probably have a very high level of mental torture level there. So appreciate you hanging in. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon. Let's do this again. Cheers.